Ladies and gentlemen, you're tuned in to the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be in alternative media. You're listening to the legendary Super Sapphire team of legend. This is the Bruce Montalvo Show.
What's up, y'all? Jaja sitting right here on the right of Bruce.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, broadcasting from the epicenter of cool Brooklyn, New York. It's July 17th, 2015, and we're broadcasting live and worldwide on MBN, Montalvo Broadcasting Network. You can also find us by going to TalkStreamLive.com and simply looking up Bruce Montalvo. Joining me now is my co-host, Ja. What is up, Ja?
Yo, everything's good. Everything's good. You know, our show's doing really well. You know, a lot of listeners. People are tuning into my music hours.
That's right.
At night from 12 to 3.
Yeah, it's going very nice. It's going very well.
You had a great interview this week with Ralph Epperson. So people can go and scroll back and look at the episodes and see there's like a 2.5 hour straight up no commercials on an interview talking all about the New World Order. You
got it. We definitely dissected the New World Order with Ralph Epperson. Thank you for joining us, folks. On today's show, we will be discussing China, who I dubbed the Fifth Reich. But first, we did talk about Ralph Epperson. He brought up many points. What gets me is the conservatards out there. They seem to have placed Ronald Reagan like on an altar where they worship him like he was Krishna or something. You know, they love him. You can hear it in their voices. Ralph, he was exposing Reagan, but I mean, you stumbled across something earlier that we want to let our listening audience know about. And what is that? What did you uncover?
All right. Well, it's bizarre, actually. Doing my research into Nazis and how there's actually like a complete Fourth Reich that's been ruling us. You know, the Nazis never lost. All right? They just German Nazis lost. The German Nazi faction lost, but they all, as Clyde Lewis says, they're repenting Nazis. They came here. They repented and they got co-opted by the CIA. Totally controlled.
Looks like James Brown. They're living in America. Yeah.
We are. What is it? The
Rammstein.
And what's
the Rammstein song?
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Same lyrics.
So what I found out, I went. It was very easy. Because I vaguely remember Hitler and Nazis having something to do with Reagan and him going to the cemetery and then I started doing a little digging, and it didn't have to dig very hard, actually. I just went and looked up Reagan young because I wanted to see what his...
Well, you actually dug him up out of the cemetery?
I dug him, man. 6 feet, man. They put him 6 feet. 6 feet and 66 inches.
Oh, wow. Exactly.
Yeah. But anyway, so what I did was that I just looked up Reagan young because I just wanted to see a little bit like the time he was born. What did he do during his youth? Because he looked German, and he visited a Nazi cemetery, okay? And there was a lot of criticism at the time. There was a memorial. He visited. He was very sad.
Maybe he was visiting his grandmother.
Yes, I think that's what happened, actually. It must have been his father. Because just go to Google, type in young Ronald Reagan. One of the first pictures you'll see is him in an SS uniform.
Yeah, you see that Horus Egyptian hawk Horus Nazi
Swastika
logo on his chest.
It's there. It's not even hidden anymore. Okay, and
nope.
Then I went to I did a quick search because it looked like, and it was amazing. He admitted to the Israeli Prime Minister. I can't remember the date, but he admitted to them years and years ago, of course, before he died, that he was involved. That somehow he was involved with the release of the Jews something in Buchenwald and Ohrdruf. That's spelled Ohrdruf, Ohrdruf.
Okay.
And I just got a psychic feeling. So I went and then I dug up pictures of Ohrdruf. And I found him. And there he is hugging.
Her ESPN kicked up, ladies and gentlemen.
It's right there. There's a picture of him. There's a picture of him with with 6 people, 2 German women, 4 men. They're by this tank that he was involved with, and it was called Tiger or something. It's a German tank, and
so he took a picture by a German Nazi tank.
Yeah, and I have that. So it's obvious. And another thing is that often he was questioned about that of his youth later on. And he always never could remember. Oh,
just like Hillary Clinton, right?
No, worse.
No. These people, these politicians, they have very bad memories, don't you know? But they suffer from dementia. They can't recall things.
Yeah, and they should.
It's like Alberto Gonzalez. I don't recall.
Yeah,
I don't recall.
Yeah, well, Reagan started that. First he opened up his trap, and then to the Israeli prime minister, and then he tried to cover it up, and all these people try to cover it up for him, but it's all there. And even recently, February.
So he's no different than the Bush family. He's a Nazi.
No, it really is. It really looks like all of everybody who has been ruling us has some.
Who's been a president?
Yeah, they've all had some Nazi ties. Everybody,
that
even
doesn't
Obama.
Surprise me. Under Operation Paperclip, they brought these guys in, and it continues today, ladies and gentlemen. It wouldn't surprise me if, half of Hollywood was also Nazis as well.
What do you mean it wouldn't surprise you? You mean for a fact it is? Actually, there's documentation and there's admission and there's all kinds of research that
he came from Hollywood. That's why I said it.
Yeah, well, Hollywood worked directly with the Nazis, and almost all the Nazis coming here could have automatic jobs if they were.
Because they're the best.
Hollywood.
They're the best at propaganda.
They're great at propaganda, and they also
a bunch of Goebbels.
Yeah, but they also have shown allegiance to the faction, the governmental faction. They have proven themselves.
Oh yeah, they're patriots, aren't they?
Yeah, patriots. Patriots. The most patriotic people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's most patriotic.
The most patriotic people were socialists. How about that? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
And what they did is that they divided them up and they said, okay, you look good enough, Keanu. You could be in the Hollywood. You look good enough. You could be in Hollywood, and then Clark Gable. And then if they weren't that good looking, and maybe they were a good talker.
They just give them a nose job, right? And then they give them some intel out of Stratford. I don't know. Right?
Yeah, out of Stratford.
I mean, you weren't that funny to begin with. They paid for your nose job, and bang, there you are on alternative media.
Yeah, that's what happens. But they will follow the script, and they won't deviate. And the government can trust them, and they can ensure that they've been, that they will follow through with orders. Okay.
Either that, or the Jesuits that worship Ananaten are running the joint, right?
Yeah,
it's one thing or another with these guys. I mean, they're basically in bed together.
Yeah. Well, actually, the name of the tank was called a King Tiger. That's what it's called. So you can look up King Tiger.
Oh, it's a King Tiger.
And Ronald Reagan. You're going to see a lot of information, actually. And look up Prime Minister and Ronald Reagan and see that. Sorry about that. And you'll see that that they're all connected.
Yeah, right. And he spouts out the same Nazi propaganda about aliens and uniting under a one world order. Okay, he went in front of the UN, Ronald Reagan did, and said that our differences would quickly dissipate if we were under an alien threat. So, and he was part of that whole Star Wars technology program with the directed energy weapons and all of that, the Tesla technology. So, that's why... What do they have? This Project Nimbus, that's basically Project Bluebeam, that all these Thousand Island burger eating talk show hosts at midnight are talking about. Well, you know what? He started all this.
That's
okay?
Right.
Basically, they used this type of technology, this type of phantom technology. They used it on the freaking brown-skinned people that were out there in Iraq. Okay? They just showed up and... Oh, look, it's Muhammad in the desert. Turka. Right?
Well,
They're
they
just
used it in a whole
scaring the
city.
crap out of them.
They used it on a whole city in China. Years ago, in 2009, I think it was, where they created a whole illusion of a city over a lake, and it flipped everyone out. There's photos of it. It's a mirage. You can look for it.
Right, yeah. I mean, these Jesuits, these Nazi Jesuits, what they want is they want to have someone in the presidency because the president has the launch codes. So that makes the Jesuits they have total unlimited power. Okay,
Yeah.
with having one of their own people in the White House, they can say, "Oh, we'll blow you up in any minute. You know, send the money to the IMF and the World Bank in Italy
That's right.
and the P2 Masonic pedos." Speaking of P2
Yeah, I
Masonic
just want to say
pedos,
yeah, we can get
go
that.
ahead, go ahead.
I just want to say you can do a search. You could find that photograph just of Ronald Reagan. Just type in King Tiger with a parentheses 112. You know, and just put parentheses in the 112 in parentheses. You will see that photograph of all six of them. And I just wanted to mention that Ronald was was implemental in NATO with Kohl, with Chancellor Kohl of Germany. That he bridged ties.
Right.
He bridged the ties. He solidified a more positive, constructive relationship between the U.S.
Right, and
Germany.
what did NATO do in Libya? They slaughtered blacks in Libya. NATO.
Yeah.
Okay, in masses. So it's just ethnic cleansing with these people, and it continues. They're doing it all over again. It's the Fifth Reich. I mean, it's coming, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, the yuan when it becomes the world reserve currency. Why do you think they're having all these Jade Helm 15 drills? And it starts right when Bohemian Grove, the whole ceremonies at that occult Masonic P2 lodge, basically they're a Masonic lodge. You know, whether they're still practicing human sacrifices or not, I don't think they've done a human sacrifice since 1909. But again, what did they have up in that picture? They had a little black baby.
I can't believe Beyonce did some kind of a performance there. I think I'm so gross.
I don't know.
I don't even want to mention
I don't know if it's COINTELPRO that put that out there. Actually, I do know.
Your citizen.
Okay, no, it wasn't them. It was Shield Ice or whatever he calls himself, whoever the pop star from the 1980s, folks. But really, I mean, Reagan, he visited Bohemian Grove. We're talking about Reagan. He was there with Nixon, and they were discussing how their political careers were going to go. And you know, these people, they're basically worshiping Athena, they're worshiping Minerva, ISIS, ladies and gentlemen. It's all just corporate rebranding of the same just evil entity.
Yeah, I mean, they don't want religion. They don't want to push Catholicism or Judaism or Muslim. It's got to be no religion. That's the only way communism and socialism will. You have to love your country. That's the religion, my friends. They love the country because they absorb them. They're CIA assets. Every single one of them. All these stars and musicians, so many of them are children of
the Third Reich.
The Third Reich. So we're in the Fourth Reich? Is that what you're saying? So we're in the Fourth Reich.
Well, the Fourth Reich has gone bankrupt. So as we know, China has surpassed the U.S. in GDP, gross domestic product. So my belief is that there is a Fifth Reich, and that is China. Now I'm going to discuss the symbolism of the swastika and how that goes back to ancient China. But first, I wanted to talk about Jade Helm 15. I mean, it started on the 15th of July. And then what happened recently? These Marines in Tennessee, Chattanooga, Tennessee, or whatever, they killed four Marines over there. A complete psyop.
So it didn't happen.
Another psyop after psyop.
So it did. They
just released the names of these Marines. But again, if Marines are supposed to be just the baddest, the toughest freaking SOBs in the world, why do they get taken out by a white boy that looks Arabic that basically taped his pubic hairs onto his face? Looks like a little chump. I mean, they're supposed to be just absolute killing machines, and here they are getting taken out. I mean, yes, it was out of recruitment. They don't allow them to have guns there anymore because of Bill Clinton. And again, Bill Clinton, was instrumental in allowing the Chinese into the docks of Long Beach, the military. But we'll get into that a little bit. I want to just cover this possible psyop in Tennessee with this shooter. I mean, like I was saying, these Marines are supposed to be the baddest men in the world, apparently. But you know what? That's a fallacy. That's a fallacy because they have the German disease. They're all a bunch of little fist pumping little San Francisco rainbow loving just fanooks.
You know, speaking of rainbows, I'm sorry to interject.
And I don't hate gay people, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, this is America. You have the right to do whatever you want. But yes, speaking of
rainbows,
gay people,
it really bothers me that gay people have adopted the rainbow. You know, as
That's
much
right.
as I support gay people and friends with gay people, it fucking pisses me off that they think that they can own the rainbow. Okay,
it pisses her off.
Okay,
expletive.
Excuse me, but it's terrible because children are the first are really relate to the rainbow. I know. You look at 16-year-old girls, 15-year-old girls, 7-year-old boys. Every kid wants to paint the rainbow. Does that mean that they're painting a gay symbol? Now the gay people can now co-opt all of children because they can. And now when a child walks down the street and they see a freaking rainbow at a store, on a window or hanging up to identify that it's a gay-owned business, that they want to go in and think it's a freaking candy store? You know?
Well, that's what me and Ralph discussed. We discussed how he outlined that in the 1960s, this agenda to basically destroy the family unit. I mean, I don't care what they do behind closed doors, but don't go telling kids that Caitlyn Jenner is the greatest of all time and, you know, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Besides, that's Kanye West's girlfriend. That's the reason that Caitlyn Jenner exists, because that kilt-wearing talentless turd of a gay fish turned Mr. Jenner out.
Yeah, Kanye X.
Yeah, because he loves Amanda Lepore and all that. So he's like, yeah, man, you're lucky that murder is illegal, man.
That's what he said.
Yeah, man.
That's what he said to Bruce when Bruce did an article about.
You don't have all the answers, Kanye West. I do.
Yeah, let's get off that gay fish's face because I can't really discuss him before I go.
Right. I just wanted. Everybody has Caitlyn Jenner mania. Everybody is obsessed with Donald Mamon Fanuc Trump. You know, people are saying that El Chapo is gonna freaking pull his wig back. You know.
Well, let me just explain. Before Bruce gets in trouble for libel or slander or whatever. The fact is that there is a rumor.
As my attorney.
Yeah, there's a rumor, and I've heard it from several gay people, several gay sources of mine, friends, that told me at different times in impromptu situations, and they told me in detail about the rumor of him being with Amanda Lepore, who is a very famous tranny.
Oh my God.
Blonde, huge lips, very done. That was years ago. I heard it. It was just a buzz.
I'm about a gay fish.
Yeah, and then that's how, I did this whole article, and he got really upset years ago. I did it on this blog, Words on the Street. I used to do a lot of blogging then, and it got tweeted out to like 100,000 people.
That's because you're lucky that murder is illegal.
Yeah, and he freaked out. He called up Isis Wisdom, and he said, I'm going to sue you. But then I was like, hey, it says rumor right here, rumor. Why are you freaking out? Then he came back with a 5-paragraph essay 2 days later, why Kanye West is not gay. Meanwhile, he wears kilts. You know what I'm saying?
Why am I hearing that Houdini song right now? Look at all these rumors every day. Anyway, what's not a rumor is Jade Helm 15. That's another thing. We're talking about China and how they are the Fifth Reich. They're gonna take over. China. What is indigenous to China? What kind of natural resource does China have? Jade.
Well, it's their most prized gemstone. Jade is one of the most precious gems in the world. I mean, it is probably the most precious. You can get certain kinds of jade that is just absolutely way more expensive than a diamond. If you just look up the 10 most rarest gemstones or the 10 worlds or you will always see jade. You will see some form of jade in the top 10. And yeah, so it's very indicative, it correlates to Chinese, and it means wealth, abundance, luck, prosperity.
Again, wealth. And that's what I'm getting at.
Abundance.
Subliminally, what do they mean when these militants with the military industrial complex came up with the operation named Jade Helm? What's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen, when the dollar collapses? I mean, the yuan is the strongest currency right now. China's buying up gold like no other country. I mean, they're probably right behind the Vatican buying gold. And what's going to happen when the dollar collapses, when the world reserve currency turns to Chinese bucks? There's going to be all hell breaking loose.
It won't happen because we won't.
It won't happen. It could happen, but let me tell you if it did happen.
Okay.
Because when I went to go buy bread one time, when it was the 4th of July, we didn't have any hot dog buns, and like a good patriotic American, I wanted to grill some hot dogs.
Yeah.
I went out, and there was one bag of hot dogs left. Okay? Me and this Chinese woman had a standoff for the hot dog buns. What's going to happen when there is literally the final bag of hot dog buns?
It's not going to happen.
I'm just saying, it's indicative of what could happen, folks. That's why they're training on American soil to master your domain.
Didn't BLM have something to do with something?
Well, yeah, they're working with the Chinese. They're working with this company, Molly Corp, out there. That's what that whole Nevada Hick Ranch thing was about. But you see, that was a gold deal. Again, the Chinese are just heavily into just buying up all the gold right behind the Vatican and Russia. And the Chinese are even doing drills with Russia. They're basically the tag team. They're the Legion of Doom. They're a tag team of death. The Chinese are basically pointing their finger at the Americans right into their chest saying, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? We're over here in the Hawaiian, in your jurisdiction. What are you going to do about it? They actually had Chinese military boots in Hawaii, and they're doing joint naval exercises with the Russians. As an American, that sounds kind of threatening to me.
Yeah. How far is Hawaii, the Hawaiian Islands from China, though? It's very
And what are
close.
the Russians doing? They're over here flying by the Gulf of Mexico? What the hell are they doing over here, too?
But we're over there with NASA.
Well, we're over there in the Ukraine.
Yeah.
It's all Dr. Strangelove, I think.
Yeah, they're all working.
We're all working together.
Yeah,
we're all working together.
I don't really buy into the doom and gloom. I really don't. We're very different than other talk show hosts because everybody else wants to make you scared and buy survival food and survival seeds and walk around scared, riveting. Wait till the next show. What's gonna happen next? So you don't have to think about your debt that you owe your credit card companies. That's what most talk show hosts will talk about because they want you to think that misery is, you could share your misery with other people and all of your debts will be abolished, all your student loans will be abolished when everything collapses. That way you won't have to pay anything. And that's what it is. Okay, but I'm a little bit more practical.
But why are they training? Why are they training in your backyards? Because, I mean, the deficit is out of control. Okay, we can't have our cake and eat it too. We're destined to collapse under this fiat system, this monetary, just private monopoly. Okay, it's gonna happen.
I don't think so. I think this is the illusion. This is the veil of fear that the Tavistock Institute loves to rule by. They are the propaganda.
They don't own me. They don't rule me. I don't get briefs from them.
No, but
this is my research.
But they're creating a lot of the terror that goes on. They're there for polls. They want to make sure that certain factions are in fear enough, so they will make sure that certain events will occur.
Okay. Well, then why did the president of the Philippines state that the Chinese leadership is acting just like the Third Reich by taking up all the natural resources in the South, the China Sea?
Yeah, well, that's them. That's their.
Why is the UN giving humanitarian awards when they basically have illegal transplants? They take out, if you owe the state or you're a prisoner of China, they'll basically take your liver out if you're in debt.
They stopped that, though.
Oh, right. Yes. I'll believe that when my feces turns into rainbow sherbet.
Okay. Yeah, but they stopped a lot of them. They stopped the one-child policy. China's never gone.
The Ted Turner policy?
China never goes to war. I mean, China, you do not.
That's true. They go to war as a last resort. But that doesn't mean that there's some type of shadow government that's dictating some type of future coup d'etat. Because like I said, the Chinese have long, since the days of Bill Clinton, they have infiltrated basically one of the key points of exportation. Okay, and it's an economic war. They're very good at waging economic war. They're crashing the markets in China and rebuilding the markets left and right. Okay, these Chinese, I mean, they could very well, okay, if the U.S. were to collapse, since the military is positioned in Long Beach, they could very well bring these carriers filled with Chinese troops. And since they own 75% of the skyline, these transnational corporations, they all gotta kick down some money to the Chinese. They're owned by the Chinese. And what's going to happen? These troops are going to come out of these carriers, and California's doomed.
Well, you know what?
They could catch us with our pants down.
A few years ago, Robert Gates, Secretary Gates, he said that the biggest fear was really with North Korea, who had intercontinental ballistic missiles.
Yeah, the same thing we just gave Iran.
So
the same ability we just gave Iran, right? Let's just keep helping our freaking enemies.
Yeah. Well, I think that China could be, with the whole thing with Hawaii, could have very well been protective. And, we could be working with China to make sure that North Korea was not going to be a troublesome, because they did threaten us. So that's also, Hawaiian Islands are very close to North Korea just as well.
Right.
They could also send their interballistic continental missiles, the torpedo 1945 tsunami missiles, tsunami bombs.
But you know what? You're right, because China's in a similar position as us. I mean, they are our natural trade partner, whether we like it or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People have to buy cheap Chinese goods to basically fuel the economy of China, which we're stupid for doing. But they're basic, and this could be why the dollar is in decline, because the Chinese are also in decline as well. So it's like fluctuating, I believe. And what the Chinese have. What, a $28 trillion dollar debt problem? I mean, they're in debt too.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's all a game, I mean, it's a trading game, because we need them, they need us. They're a little bit smarter, I have to tell you. For the most part, the average Chinese will be a little bit slicker, a little bit smarter than the average American when it comes to their commodities. They'll try to get one over on you, selling you fake sterling, but they'll also buy, when you sell them jade, or they'll pay top dollar when you're selling them your gold, or, and they will sell you good stuff also. You just have to be real smart, on when you're dealing with the Chinese. And you know what? I don't have any problem buying Chinese things, but I don't really buy them from Walmart, because I don't have a middleman. Okay, Walmart is making a problem for the United States, not China. Okay, it's the Walmart people that are buying stuff and reselling it for top dollar at their stupid stores so they can pay their rent and they can knock out mom and pop shops. We're a mom and pop shop. Okay, we have our Etsy stores. You can go to Etsy.com / conceptual subculture, one word, and see, or antique obsessions. I have a 35% off sale right now. We're selling beautiful sterling, handmade, one-of-a-kind items, and rainbow necklaces with jade, lots of jade earrings. Okay, so, but I think that they really are, they're not a problem. I don't believe that China is a problem. I think that I don't have a problem buying direct from the Chinese when I have a problem with what they sell me personally. They're very, very, very good about cordial. Okay, it's not real. Here's your money back. Just return it.
But you gotta understand, they've been infiltrated by the CIA. China has. I mean, the CIA were the ones that put Mao into power in China. Okay, just like what they did in Iran. It's probably the same thing's been going on. We've been infiltrated China, and we've been infiltrated Iran since Operation Ajax, when they took out Mossadegh, who was the first democratically elected leader of Iran. So, I mean, we're into these black ops. We're into just setting them up and bringing them down.
Yeah.
Okay? That's
Right.
what we do. It's our modus operandi.
That's right. You know.
It's just telling, ladies and gentlemen, it's just a sign of the times. But, you know,
the problem is Walmart. I mean, honestly, they're the ones lobbying for certain laws. They're the ones lobbying to eBay to tax people more money. You know, the problem is Walmart. If you as an individual do a direct business with China, you know, and buy directly from China, you're not infringing on anybody else. Okay, and you're like, if you go and buy their products and make something with it and then resell it, there's nothing wrong with it. If we don't make it here, we need to get it.
That's right. You don't have to worry about Walmart wrangling you up in a Walmart internment camp like these idiots are saying online. I mean, they basically are killing us economically. They're wrangling us up economically.
Walmart is. I don't have a problem with China. I have a problem with Walmart. That's all.
Well, I have a problem with China, and I have a problem with China basically that being infiltrated and becoming the Fifth Reich. I mean, let's look at the swastika. Okay, the swastika is an ancient symbol that was basically perverted by the Nazis, but it wasn't always so bad.
No,
okay?
It was a Hindu sign of Buddhism. It was even in Greek, in some Roman, in Islamic. You'd find it just as a symbol.
But it's been co-opted by the Jesuits, and basically, I mean, you look at the Knights Templar cross, it's a swastika. You look at the sign of the cross, it's a swastika. Okay, it's
taken many.
It's all over,
many
ladies and gentlemen.
forms.
Many forms. But you know, I'd like to read an excerpt from Symbol, Sex, and the Stars, which is a great book that details the history of the swastika. And I quote: "The hooked cross or swastika has been used even more universally than the Tau. It is sometimes called the Gametian cross because it consists of 4 Greek letter gammas radiating from a common center. From the Bronze Age to the present, this swirling symbol of motion has been scratched, drawn, or molded on coins, tools, utensils, ornaments, weapons, and fabrics all over the world. As an architectural motif in temples and places, it appears in meander bands and in mosaic patterns or walls, lintels, and floors. The word swastika was thought by Max Muller to be derived from the Sanskrit word su, meaning well, and asti, meaning it is. When the limbs face towards the left, the device is called salvastika and is a female symbol. It was conjectured by Count Goblet de Alville that the swastika, being female, was an unlucky emblem. This theory seems to be disproven by the fact that on objects from India, the ruins of ancient Mediterranean cities, the design faces either right or left, although examples in which limbs turn to right are much more numerous. The swastika represents health and happiness, and Hindus believe that it has the power to scare away evil. It is therefore branded on cattle, especially the village bull. Well, Molech, the bull. Anyway, it is therefore branded on cattle, especially the village bull, when it has perhaps the significance of general fertilizer. Yeah, that's what the Nazis basically were. They were fertilizer. Swastikas are sketched in white or red over the doorways and steps of city homes. In country villages, as soon as the morning cleansing with earth and dung is completed, the mistress of the house sketches the sacred emblem in front of her house, garden, gate, etc. Now, this is important, ladies and gentlemen. In China, the sign may be seen everywhere, on medicine wrappers, on sweetmeats, on the stomachs or chests of idols, on the flanks of animals, on bare walls, and various other places. To Buddhists of China, India, Tibet, Mongolia, Korea, and Japan, it symbolizes the 10,000 truths, just like the Bruce Montalvo show. This is the show of 1,000 truths. Okay, but it represents Buddha. It appears on the images and statues of Buddha and over the hearts of initiates, as well as on Buddhist inscriptions, coins, manuscripts. The four limbs of Buddhist swastika illustrated terminate in triangular feet. On each limb there is a female symbol in the center. The male and female symbols are shown united. So it's kind of like even like the Star of David, because that's both what male and female
Yin
energies.
yang, kind of.
Right. So the sun and the moon in conjunction are represented at the end of each limb, and in the spaces between are four swirls representing fire, the sun, and creative energy. The swastika is one of the mystic marks which may be counted on famous sculptures called Buddhapada, or footprints of Buddha. The Ramayana, the Hindu scriptures, say there was a swastika on the prow of the sacred bark or sun boat of Rama and the seventh incarnation of Vishnu. It is also found on the sun chariot of the fire god Agni. Parsi jewelers and bankers in India sometimes place the design on their safes as a talisman of good fortune. When placed within a circle, like the Nazis did, the swastika is a sacred symbol of fire, worshipping Jains, to whom it represents the four grades of existence of the souls in the material universe. The Trikatera is a three-legged figure closely related to the swastika. It is a very ancient symbol and appears on the official seals of governments of Sicily, no surprise there, and the Isle of Man. The Trikatra, or Fleafot, sometimes represents the three-headed rooster instead of a human figure, but it is significant that the three-legged or three-footed one is always male, the upright central limb representing man's weapon, the phallus. The word foot is a very ancient slang term for the sexual parts of man. In both Egyptian and Sanskrit, the heart phallus or the euphemistic foot were emblems of identical meaning. Basically, just like I just said, the Knights Templar cross, the swastika, the cross of the Jesuits, it's the swastika, folks. And it was pretty much adapted in ancient Chinese times.
Right. You can look at old India temples, and you'll see the swastika right around their idols, Vishnu, and ingrained in the stone. I've seen it many times. But even still, a symbol is a symbol is a symbol. Once it's changed and
but you must study symbols because it's symbols that rule.
Okay, people attribute certain meanings to it, but it's been perverted. Okay, when the Nazis took it over, they might have used it. Listen, they could have taken the positive elements of what the original symbol used, which meant to them at the time luck. They wanted luck in abundance. The oligarchs, the monarchs at the time that were fueling, they're paying for all the whole war and for the Nazis to be propped up. They were looking for abundance. What do you think they were looking for? They were looking for luck and abundance. But it didn't necessarily mean kill Jews at the end, it was just a symbol that...
Look, but just like the Star of David, Jews don't worship the Star of David, despite what all these
Christians,
these idiot Jesuits out there in the talk radio circuit may say. We don't worship the Star of David. If you worship the Star of David, then you got a problem.
You're a pagan.
Then you're gonna get some demons crawling up in you.
Yeah, Jews
okay, so it's the
symbols.
same thing with the swastika. That's what it was, the power of the dark side that basically enamored the Nazis. They were enamored with the symbol. They wanted to worship the dark part of the swastika.
But that's really interesting because it is the way they use the symbol with the circle and the red and the black and the white. That's so contrasting. It's so graphically pops off, and it's so bold and it sticks in your brain. It really was symbol worship for them, and they proudly displayed it on their sleeves. And
Absolutely. Now, I want to read one last
yeah.
excerpt here from Symbol, Sex, and the Stars. Other examples have been discovered on the walls of Roman catacombs, on coins, pottery, sculptures from Greece, Cyprus, other islands in the Mediterranean. Further examples have been found in Germany, Scandinavia, Mexico, Yucatan, Peru, Uruguay, and on the potteries, textiles of the Pueblo, Dakota, and other Indian tribes in North America. So you have the Native American Indians using the swastika here.
Wow.
Okay, now this device does not appear to have been in general use in Phoenicia, Egypt, or Babylonia, although examples of the swastika have been found in those countries.
Mm-hmm.
So there you have it. That is why the Nazis and the Catholic Church go together like spaghetti and meatballs.
That's right.
Okay, because it goes back all the way to ancient times. And that is why I'm so weary of China's actions, because to me it seems that they are worshiping the dark side of the swastika.
Okay, but you know what? There is a point there, because they do want the absence of religion. Okay, they would want you to worship a symbol as opposed to worshiping God. You know, they're not interested in monotheism at all. Nobody is that's in the government. That's the point. They don't want you to be in touch with your spirituality. They want the government.
No, they want you to kneel stand like a freaking DARPA robot.
Yeah, exactly.
Just as stupid as those robots. I mean, I don't know how. I mean, they're keeping the T-1000s away from you. They're not letting you see just, the level of expertise that they've advanced these robots. I mean, the government is 50 years ahead in technology, or maybe even more, maybe even 100. So these robots that they're showing you at the DARPA Robotics Challenge. Yeah, like Chappie. Yeah, I like that movie. That was a good movie. I like Chappie. She didn't really like it, folks, but I like Chappie. Hey, Chappie. He had like a South African
It's a New Zealand
accent.
movie, I think, right?
I think it was out of South Africa or something like that.
Maybe it was filmed in South Africa, but it's New Zealand, whatever. Yeah.
Right. No, but it just goes to show. I mean, they're not showing you what they have. The advanced robotic technology, which also leads me to Jade Helm all over again. Okay? JADE is an acronym for a DARPA-developed AI quantum computing technology that produces holographic battlefield simulations. That's what I was talking about earlier. Now, I don't know if they have that cheetah or whatever, that robotic dog out of Ray Bradbury's Fahrenheit 451. I don't think he's out there running around and all, in people's backyards in Texas. I haven't seen it yet. But, ladies and gentlemen, if you do see some robots out there training with the military, send us an email.
What about Arnold?
Arnold, listen to me, get down. I kind of sound like Pee Wee Herman right there. No, but that's also what we got to cover. I mean, the disinformation campaign that is Jade Helm. Because these guys, they're basically just transporting tanks and the military. When I lived in California, there was a highway that was dedicated to the military. So it's Jade Helm 15 all day, every day when you drive by that highway. When you drive by all the bases, they're in motion. I mean, this is the homeland, right? They should be here. I'm not saying they should be training in our backyards, but they should be here protecting the American people instead of spread out across 155 countries with this global Anglo world order hegemony that they're spreading about.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. I'm just looking up Helmsley and their charitable...
Hunter Hurst Helmsley, Triple H? What? You want to find out how to do the pedigree? I don't understand. What's the Helmsley Foundation?
The Helmsley Charitable Trust. I was just trying to see the basis for the word
Jade Helmsley. Well, where does
that come in? What they're doing, everything's very fishy. Oh, speaking of fish.
Right.
What were we talking about with the sharks?
Right.
Like
Oh,
a month ago, we took snaps on.
well, we were checking out the CIA's YouTube page, and they had a shark or a fish up there for no reason.
It wasn't just that. It was like all of a sudden, everybody on my Facebook, all these like strange
The
gnomes.
algorithm was filled with fish and sharks.
Yeah, the algorithm was
And what happened a couple of weeks later? They were attacking sharks were attacking people in South Carolina,
black
North
people,
Carolina.
only black people, mostly black people were missing limbs. But we went to the CIA website and
Well, it was YouTube. It was their YouTube page.
The YouTube, and they had a shark logos. It
was either that or some type of fish. I don't remember.
Okay, but yeah, it was suspicious enough.
Yeah, could there be some type of correlation there between the shark attacks and the CIA? I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, next thing you know, they're going to be putting Tesla death rays on the heads of sharks. Just like in the old James Bond movies.
Back to the Helmsley Charitable Trust. I just want to read you their mission statement. It says, the Helmsley Charitable Trust aspires to improve lives by supporting exceptional nonprofits and other mission-aligned organizations in the U.S. and around the world in health, selected place-based initiatives, and education and human services. I don't know. Could be. They want to spread out amongst everything. They're getting involved with the fisheries, which is very interesting because the Chinese have a lot of stake in our own fisheries here. In fact, several years ago, before that BP oil spill, there was a Red Lobster boycott. It was even on the local news, I think CBS. They were talking about there was a full undercover that with the Red Lobsters, that they were lying to the public, stating that they were obtaining their shrimp from American soil. And in fact, they did the full investigation. They went behind the doors. They found, from China. All the shrimp was from China. And just as everybody was starting to boycott Red Lobster, the BP oil spill kind of happened, so then they couldn't get the shrimp anymore. Yeah. So, there's definitely a shadow government. There's companies willing to destroy the environment just for the sake of profit and just to reroute your money,
Wow. Speaking of money, I wanted to read this article about China surpassing the U.S. in GDP. It comes to us from Ramallah TV. Okay, China has surpassed the U.S. in terms of GDP based on purchasing power. PPP, becoming the largest in the world by this measure, International Monetary Fund estimates show. In 2014, China reached 17.6 trillion, or 16.48% of the world's purchasing power, adjusted GDP, while the U.S. made slightly less, 16.28%, or 17.4 trillion. This is IMF data. PPP is recognized as the best way to compare the size of economies rather than using volatile exchange rates, which rarely reflect the true cost of goods and services. Thus, $1 trillion are worth a lot more in China than in the U.S. Or, on the purchasing power basis, China is overtaking the U.S. right now and becoming the world's biggest economy, according to the forecast. The U.S. has been the global leader since overtaking the U.K. in 1872. We never overtook the U.K., ladies and gentlemen. The U.K., the United Kingdom, okay, they only answer to the Vatican, and then we answer to them.
That's right.
But most economists previously thought China would pull ahead in 2019. According to the P2 Masonic Lodge pedos at the IMF, estimates in 2015, the gap between China and the U.S. will increase to almost $1 trillion. Chinese GDP, PPP, will amount to 19.23 trillion against 18.286 trillion in the U.S. However, in terms of a real GDP, the United States remains the undisputed world leader with 16.8 trillion output, significantly outpacing China with 10.4. So there you go. It's like up and down, but our money is worth more in China than it is here.
That's interesting.
Very
You know what?
interesting.
You know what we're doing really well right now in Europe. I went and bought a piece of sterling from the British, and it was so cheap. I couldn't believe it. The pound was usually $1. It would usually cost $2.50 for £1. Now, a British pound is only about $1.20.
Wow.
Compared to, so it's only cost me $1.20 to buy a pound. So that means they're going down right now in terms of the.
Exactly. So basically, that's our take on China. Are they our friend? Are they our foe? We got to keep an eye on them. I think they are worshiping the dark side of the swastika.
Well, I mean, they don't push their religion. I mean, the whole thing is they're communists, right? So why shouldn't they work?
The Jesuits infiltrated them, Jaja. It's easy to see. They're pushing them. I just told you that they have surpassed the U.S. in growth domestic product. They're producing more crap, more cheap crap.
Yeah, but
that's the thing. I mean, we in America have become a nation of takers instead of a nation of makers. We don't fabricate anything. And here's another thing. In the steel business, which is what you need to fabricate, China is taking over all the steel.
Really?
They're buying up all the steel.
In America?
Everywhere.
And they're bringing it back to China?
Yes. And they're selling it back to us. So they've taken over the steel market.
Wow.
We are being deindustrialized. China is going to rule supreme, ladies and gentlemen. We had a saying that, hey, eat everything on your plate because there are starving children in Africa. Well, now the Chinese, pretty sure they're telling their kids, eat everything on your plate because there are starving children in America.
Yeah.
Okay? I went to college. I came back. Now I'm reading the newspaper and everything sucks.
Yeah. I think that we should be making our own things more. We should be producers of goods instead of consumers of goods. I do think that it will benefit society at large if you could start growing things, creating things, producing your own products. I mean, we're producing our own products. I mean, just, in the theme of today, since it's being jade, you should definitely go to our 2 stores. You'll see gorgeous
That's
jade
right.
earrings. Etsy.com. We have 2 stores. One's called Antique Obsessions, one word, and the other one is called Conceptual Subculture. You could use coupon Bruce40 on Conceptual Subculture to get a discount. We even have rainbow necklaces for my gay friends, hence my opinion of them co-opting the rainbow. We have beautiful jade and repoussé sterling, solid sterling tested earrings on Antique Obsessions, and there's a 35% off sale right now. So both things will not last. The 35 and the 40% coupon will not last. Things change quickly. So if you want to support us and you want to support
and
the
if you
US
want to
economy,
look good, you want to have your bling, ladies and gentlemen. If you're a rapper and you want some bling bling, go to Conceptual Subculture. I'm not E40. Use Bruce40.
That's right. It's beautiful. I mean, it's not just for rappers. You know what I'm saying? It's just like all styles.
Oh, you could buy it for the ladies, for your loved one. You know what I'm saying? And go and get her some jewelry. It's never gonna go out of fashion.
One of a kind, totally handmade, one of a kind. Everything's genuine. Everything is explicit, detailed, highlighted of what materials are used, how it's used, and you will look gorgeous. We have fabulous reviews. People love us, and you will too.
Well, believe it or not, our time is almost up. And okay, we covered China, we covered the swastika, we covered
Reagan.
We covered all that, and now it's time for Pope Watch 2015. Okay, what's up with this Pope changing at a Burger King bathroom?
Oh my God!
What the hell? Did they have some little boy there waiting for him inside
buns, those boys, just delicious, juicy boys buns.
Oh God!
In the bathroom.
Jeez.
He's the Burger King, huh?
Yeah, he's
King of the burger buns.
They're gonna have him instead of the mascot of Burger King. That king is gonna be the Pope Burger.
Pope burgers.
I was looking at the papal symbol. Okay, and I even looked at the Pope's scepter. It had two snakes,
Yeah.
basically representing the Brotherhood of the Snake. I said earlier, they're not the Society of Jesus. They're the Society of Akhenaten, because they're coming out and they're saying the aliens are here and we are going to baptize them.
That's right.
What the hell is wrong with these idiots?
It's the way they have to co-opt the alien concept, because the whole thing about Christianity is that, it would be fine if everybody was Jewish, but we're not. The fact is that the Catholic Church likes to say that, whatever, Jesus was on the planet, and if he is the
right, yeah,
and
sure,
if he's the supreme
the
God
vicar,
of the world,
the vicar of Christ,
right? If he is the God of every religion, of everybody, and the whole entire universe and the galaxy, well, that means he would have to show up on somebody else's planet.
Well, the
too.
God of my galaxy isn't the Baphomet. Okay, because if you turn the papal symbol around, it basically represents the Baphomet. Okay,
Didn't you
from
say the peace sign
Latin,
also?
sun, moon, the star, the torch, the wings. Just look at the Pope's new Jesuit papal symbol. It resembles the Baphomet. Okay, the hat they wear on their head. Okay, Babylonian priests wore that hat on their head. Okay, every type of hand signal he makes is some type of sexual innuendo. Okay, that's what they're doing over in Bohemian Grove right now, as they have the military running around violating our Third Amendment rights with these illegal exercises they're doing in people's backyards, like in Texas.
Right.
Okay, so whether they're just shooting paintballs, guns, or not, what they're doing is unconstitutional.
That's right. They're not supposed to have troops on the ground.
Absolutely not.
Not against the American populace. Just read the Constitution, my friends.
Right, and even in the Constitution that was written by these satanic forefathers, I brought it up to Ralph Epperson, that Washington, D.C., from aerial view, is a pentagram, and they have Moloch, the owl, just inserted right into the city. They have the Masonic compass. I mean, this is all by design. They wrote in the Constitution some type of clause that would give them unlimited total power. Yeah. Even in the Constitution. That's why, yes, the Constitution is a beautiful document, but, you can't eat the Constitution at the end of the day. Can I eat it to feed me? Will it feed me?
No, it only protects you.
It's just a piece of paper.
You read it.
I sounded like George Bush there. Oh my God.
The Constitution only protects you from tyranny.
Wow.
It keeps your tyrannical rulers in check.
That's right.
That's what it's for. It doesn't give you rules. It doesn't give you the laws. Our laws are in statutes and in our laws, and somewhere else. I hate when people just say the Constitution says this, but there's been so many statutes and laws that have come out of it.
Or they attribute the Bill of Rights, even though it did bring about the Constitution, they say that is what, the courts don't go by the Bill of Rights.
No, you can't go and say, well, you can't say to a cop, that's against my constitutional rights. You see
what'll happen to you. They'll slam you right into the ground. Well, ladies and gentlemen, they'll knock your teeth out. We're coming at the end of the show, at the end of the program. This has been the Bruce Montalvo Show. We have exposed the Fifth Reich and more. Ladies and gentlemen, be sure to tune in every Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. You can find us at exposednewsalternative.wordpress.com. Be sure to go to Etsy, Conceptual Subculture. Use coupon code Bruce40. And we'll be back next week at same time, same dial. Right, Ja?
Peace.